right, so you guys asked some great questions. So again, most of the people know me, but again, our role here at GenR8 is to help people get business. We love small business, we love owners, we love the hustle and the challenges that we all go through. So that's really all we focus on, and using a recipe of traditional marketing, but really looking at those measurable efforts of websites, social media, video, email, and Google. So we did a little fact and fiction last time, and you guys kind of struggled. I think you guys were like 0 for 4. So we'll go, some of these may be a repeat, but I'll go over these and then I'll get into the FAQs. So first, there are 2 billion people using the internet. Fact or fiction? It is 4 billion, correct. And that's compared to 3 billion in 2016. So again, more people are getting access to information. All right, fact or fiction? There are 7 billion searches on Google a day. Fact. Yes. That's a fact. Okay, here's one. Fact or fiction? 25% of all internet traffic is on mobile devices. 50%. Fact or fiction? 50% of all successful sites that generate leads have case studies. False. 80%. So we talk about telling stories. I know I've done this with a lot of you guys, Randy, and with Todd. It's like telling not just here's what I did, but how did I solve a problem. So case study is huge. Fact or fiction? 75% of people never go past the first page of a website. Fact. The average view on a website is about 45 seconds in one page. So that's one of those things, that hurdle that we always talk about with clients. Here we go. Fact or fiction? There are 3.5 billion users of social media on the internet. Fact. 3.5. There's essentially, it's about, well, here's a good fact or fiction. On Facebook, there's 1.5 billion on Facebook. Fact or fiction? Fiction, 2.27. There's 1 billion on Instagram, 500 million on LinkedIn. Oh, and here's the other good one, then maybe we'll get into questions here. Fact or fiction? People spend an average of 30 minutes a day on social media.
Fiction.
2 hours! And I don't do that. That's the thing, I work in it. All right, so bottom line is, again, this is on a global scale, but clearly, in the time that I've been doing this, I tell people in the last, I got into doing websites in the dark ages in the 90s. And so I've had the privilege of seeing kind of this disruption of conventional information and marketing. And I was an art major, but I like tech. My pops was in software. He's one of those guys that got into software in the 90s. So I always had a computer around me as a kid. So I could see when the internet hit and I was in college, like, sweet, hey, this is like tech and it's art, and it's like, oh my gosh, I can combine the two things that I'm passionate about. Fast forward 20 years, we all have witnessed, and again, some of it's good, some of it's not, but we have had access to information, and the thing that's the coolest thing ever is that small businesses have a chance more than they ever had as far as gaining traction, getting attention in front of customers at the most cost-effective manner. So one of the questions was talk about branding. So obviously, the manifestation of what we do is to use these tools in our toolbox to help people get leads and get business. But at the bottom line, branding, it's kind of this fancy term that people throw around, but it's really about who you are as a business. And it's not just about your logo, it's not just about a brochure or your website, it's about the essence of who you are and what you're about. So a brand, again, is really the all-encompassing, presentation of who you are as an individual or business. Let's see here. Typical investment of costs. Great one. So I'm a numbers guy, even though I'm an art dude, and I believe extremely strongly, and Rick would appreciate this, we're like a CPA of marketing. We're like an investment banker. We're trying to say, all right, what's the least amount of money you need to spend to get traction? I usually tell people that, it's usually a few $100 a month, but really what it boils down to is if I'm making, as a business, less than $100,000 a year, I should not spend more than 5% of my gross on marketing, period. Okay? Anything above and beyond that, you're overspending. And as you go up, the percentages of 5, 4, 3 go down as you make more money. So we believe on that alignment of how much you spend. And then really, I think the one I want to touch on before I run out of time is just how do you generate lead with social media? Here's the deal, and Google. Google is great for people that research and people that are just trying to find a solution. In my experience, it has challenged my own assumptions. I've had so many people in the last 2 years just search us and find us, and many of these individuals have been over the age of 65. And my business was 110% referral. So it's a fact right now that people do research to find, and those case studies and stuff influence it. Social media, frankly, if it's not done just right, it's a total waste of time. Completely. But if you're in the business of relationships and people, that's how you build, and those are your referral partners. So think of Facebook like a big BNI group for you. There you go.
Awesome. One question? Anybody have a quick question? Let's be quick. All right, so I have a question.
Sure.
Jason, how long have you been in this group?
I've been in this group, I'm going on just a year, I think, actually. Year and a half. Is it 2?
You're going like 2.
2, sorry. 2 years.
2 years. All right, that sounds good. And we have several new members
Yes.
now. So what would the best piece of advice you would have for them?
Well, to me, when you're an owner or when you're a small business, you have to decide where you spend your time. And I was in BNI before. I don't know what I was smoking, but I did not get into a BNI group near early enough. My business was about ready to go in the tank. So by the time I got into this was absolutely the entire reason we were able to survive. BNI's made almost probably 30 to 40% of our entire revenue. So again, I can't say enough, the one-to-ones, you got to get to know the people. This isn't just something where you check in and check out. You got to be able to invest your time, but it's been phenomenal for us. We're very thankful, blessed to have everybody that's helped us.
All right, well, let's go look for some more business for Jason.